I'll be walking through the town centre with one of these on me, and somebody might get really excited, okay, little knife, or I could be walking with one of these on me and no one really cares. So what is the difference? What am I talking about? So my name's Dave, welcome to my channel, Be Better Prepared, and in this video I'm going to be talking about UK knife law and hopefully answer some of your questions. Okay, I've got two cameras, so I will be flipped between the two. I'm experimenting with the camera action because I'm fairly new to this. So first of all, this is a 3-inch folding penknife with no lock. Okay, this is a legal carry. You can have this in your pocket anytime you want, any time of the day or night. According to the law, it's classed as a tool. However, if you came out of a nightclub with this at 1 o'clock in the morning, you might have a few serious questions to answer if you get caught. So there is a time and a place. Alright, so the classic penknife, fundamentally useless. Okay, great if you've got a knot in your shoelaces. Other than that, this is the quickest way to lose your fingers. Okay, because let's imagine you are cutting something and you touch, the blade gets caught. What happens is it's going to fold as you push, and of course your fingers are under there and you're going to lose your fingers. Okay, so show you from this angle. So here's the penknife. Open it up. Okay, so you could be using it, using it, and for some reason the end sticks in somewhere, and lo and behold, if your fingers are there and you're pushing hard, suddenly there's your fingers gone. So everybody I know who uses knives as a hobby or in their work does not touch a penknife. Okay, even though it's the legal carry, no. So I'm going to put that to one side. So similar size, but this one, we open it and it's locked. Okay, so it's the same size as that one, but this is not a legal carry. This is quite a good little one-handed locking knife. You see this where the thumb is there, you see the little blade? You just push it up to there and it's locked. To undo it, there's a little lever there. You just flick the lever to one side and it'll close. Okay. That does not make it illegal. Okay, as we're going to discover, the circumstances under which you're carrying it matter a lot. Okay, so it's not a legal carry. So this is a knife you could not legally carry through the town centre in your pocket, even though it's massively safer for you than that one. Okay, now everyone I know who uses knives in their hobbies uses a locking knife. Okay, this does not bend. So we're talking about modelers, we're talking about custom jewellery people, we're talking about leather artwork designers, all this sort of, they all use knives within their hobbies. Okay, this is the sort of thing they use. All right, so what makes this legal? So I'll give you an example. A friend of mine does artwork with leather. She's got lots of knives, and if she got stopped and someone found a knife in her glove box of a car, she could realistically say, well, you know, I use knives in my hobby, you know, and she'd just have to prove that in court. And they say, well, okay, that's a realistic excuse. You've got a knife on you, you've got a realistic reason for it. Okay, moving on. Slightly larger, okay, but just as good. So this is bigger than 3 inches now. Okay, and you might think, well, 3 inches is the law. Well, actually, like I've just been saying, if I am the kind of person who uses this as a hobby or in my work, and I've got a reasonable excuse for having this on me, then that's okay. This is one of my favourite knives. Okay, okay, so the locking's there, that's where you press it. Okay, like that. So to open it, very hard to open one-handed, but you can. Okay, and then to close it, you press the locker. There you go. Doing it one-handed doesn't really work very well. So if I've got this in my pocket, walking through the town centre, you might go, well, why have I got this on me? You know, I'd need a good reason. But if I've got this in my bag while I'm on my way to a job, that's different. So the classic case is you've got the butcher with a butcher's knife, and it's like, why have you got that? Well, I'm a butcher and I keep my knives. Great. If you're walking around with a knife in your hand, that's obviously clearly wrong. So here's a knife in a sheath. It's in a sheath. This is a good knife to have, okay, but it's in a sheath. Now, if I was to put that on my belt and walk around the town, that is absolutely wrong, because it's ready to be used, okay? If I'm going on a camping trip for the weekend and I'm walking around during the day, say we're walking from one place to another, again, there's no reason for this to be on my belt. This should be in the back of my bag, okay? So if I needed to use it, I'd just get it out of the bag, use it, put it back, stash it back in my bag. When I get to the campsite, if it's just me and the people I'm with, so my own little group, I can then put this on my belt and walk around because it's private, and I might be using it for the, you know, trimming some bits of leaves off some trees or something like that. I'm using it. If I was in a campsite where you pay and there's caravans and there's lots of grass and children and all this sort of stuff, and I've got no need to use this, then it does not need to go on my belt. Okay, it stays in my bag. So at the campsite, and we decide to go down to the local pub to get some breakfast. This does not stay on my belt when I go down to the pub. It comes off and it goes in the bag because it's got absolutely no need to be on my belt. Okay. Let's get into a slightly different. A lot of people have combis, so you get your combi tool and everything like this. Well, this one has a blade on it. Okay, where is it? There we are. Now this has a blade, and you know what? I can open it with one hand. Okay. Now because I can open it with one hand, there are many blades that you can't have, like a flick knife or a butterfly knife. You can't have those because you can open them with one hand. But this one, because it's got the little bevel on there and you have a little bit more work to do, then you can, it's acceptable to have one of these. Okay, let's get it fastened back up again. So just because you've got a combi tool, if the blade on it is a locking blade, strictly speaking, unless you've got a good excuse, that is not a legal carry. Okay, but if you've got a reasonable excuse, like you are into bushcraft and you're on your way to a bushcraft meeting or something like that, or you're in the army and you're on your way to exercise, not too bad. Okay, hammer. I know it's not a knife. That could do a lot more damage than those knives. Okay, you could have this in your little bag walking through the town. If you are maybe a plumber and you're on the way to a job, it's in your bag, you're okay. Obviously, walking around the town with this in your hand, that looks threatening, that is clearly wrong, you'll get arrested and sent down. But if it's in your bag, brilliant, okay? I would put it to you that plumbers, electricians and things walking to work to do a job through the town carry in their bag lots of dangerous weapons. You know, Stanley knives, screwdrivers, hammers. No one bats an eyelid. Okay? You carry a little knife, then people start getting excited. Now we're going to move up a little bit. So, suppose you have one of these. Okay? It's a bit grubby, I know, but the old matchet or machete. Okay? This is clearly not for trimming your guy ropes with. Okay? So this needs to stay in your bag until you've got to the place that you actually need it. So if you're wading your way through lots of undergrowth, get this out, brilliant. Okay, if you're doing battening wood, brilliant. When you finish with it, or you get anywhere near the public, this gets put away. Now a couple of things about these. Okay, a couple of top tips from Dave. You can buy these on the internet. You know, it's an army match it. Okay, comes in a little sheath and everything. So the handles, you can see I've had to replace this handle. The handles are complete garbage. Okay, if you are batoning wood with it, do not try to baton anything that's more than a quarter of that length, because the vibrations will eventually wreck the handle. It's only held on by a couple of pins and it'll just fall off. Okay, so be prepared to change the handle. Secondly, where is it? Secondly, okay, very often when you buy one of these, there's a little sleeve down the side of the sheath. I haven't got one on here. Very little sheath, okay, and a file should be in there. So when you're buying this off the internet and you're paying however much it is, if there's a little space to put a file, which is meant to keep it sharp, a file, if you haven't got one and you're still paying a full price, okay, somebody's ripping you off. Okay, so I have a file for this, okay, and clearly when you sharpen it, you know, I'm sharpening it. Okay, right, the thick part to the thin part. Okay, now one more before finish. If you've got something which is clearly a weapon, okay, now this is an old Maasai sword from Africa, which I put the handle on, okay. If you've got something like this, which is clearly not for cutting wood, and it's clearly not for anything else other than a weapon, then you need to be really careful as to when you put this out, because you put this anywhere near the general public, you're going to get arrested. Okay, so you would get this out like if you were doing like where you do battles and things like this, and you get swords out. This is the sort of place where this is for, okay, or you're showing it off, give it a good clean, hangs on your wall or something, put a new handle on it. But this, there's absolutely no place for this on a camping expedition, hiking expedition, anything, because this is a weapon. Now, in the UK, the law on weapons, on knives, you cannot go equipped with a knife on the off chance someone's going to attack you. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, oh, why have you got a knife? Because I'm thinking I'm going to get, it's for self-defense. You can't do it, unfortunately. Okay, you have to use things that are already there. So if you were a mechanic and you had a 12-inch spanner in your car, there's an excuse for having a 12-inch spanner in your car. But if you've got a 12-inch, if you've got like this in your car, okay, excuse me, why have you got that in your car? Oh, it's in case I get attacked. No, you can't. You would have to have a reason. So I'm on my way to a reenactment. All right, that will do. Okay, just to finish off there, while I'm on the subject of defence and weapons, looking forward to another video, just remind you of the old story of the baseball bat. If you've got a baseball bat in your car and you get stopped, excuse me madam, why have you got a baseball bat in your car? Well, because my grandkids like to play a bit of baseball. Alright then, where's the ball? Sorry? Where's the ball? When you play baseball, you have a base bat and a baseball. Where's the ball? Okay, so if you are going to carry a baseball bat in your car, which by the way is fundamentally useless until you get out the car because you can't wield it about, you can only excuse for having a baseball bat in your car is if you've got a ball to go with it. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Dave, be better prepared. I put the better in be prepared, and in this case, know the law, don't get caught out. Thank you.